Hi, I'm Hayley and I'm a specialist support assistant for the communication and interaction team. And within my role, I support children and young people with communication, speech and language needs and/or autism. Within this short video, I hope to model how we can break everyday tasks down into small, more manageable steps to enable the child and young person to achieve success and to develop their independent skills. This can be taught through something called backward chaining. So we can think of any task that we want the child or young person to learn, and we break these down into separate kind of actions. And those actions form together to form a chain, with the chain representing the whole of the activity. So initially, with backward chaining, we would expect the adult to complete all steps of that task apart from the end step, the end stage. We want to encourage the child and young person to complete that final part of the task, and that's really so that they have that sense of accomplishment, of achievement, and so that they have the confidence to want to keep practicing and learning that skill. So if we look at an everyday task such as putting a sock on, so you may want to begin with an oversized sock just to kind of make the task a bit easier and achievable to begin with. We don't want the child or young person getting frustrated as soon as we kind of try this. We want to make it as successful as possible. So firstly, we may cue the child or young person in with the object of the sock and a familiar phrase such as sock on, and the adult would place the sock over the toes, over to the heel, so they're completing those stages, and we would expect the child or young person to complete that final stage. So you may need to, depending on the physical needs of the child or young person or their understanding, you may still need to provide hand over hand support, or if your child is able to, if their fine motor skills are developed enough, they're able to pull that last bit up, we might gesture and with a familiar phrase say sock up or pull sock, and that's the final stage of that task that the child's completed. And once they are consistently able to do that final part of the stage, we might increase that demand, increase the task a bit more. So again, the adult would cue in with the object of the sock, with the familiar phrase sock on, but at this point the adult would only assist with putting the sock over the toes. And again, you may need to provide hand over hand support depending on the individual, or they might be able to complete the 2 stage of this task by putting it over the heel and then pulling it up. So again, sock up or pull sock. And again, once they are consistently able to do those 2 stages, we'd move on to extend that expectation that they're able to fully put the sock on themselves. Because we haven't expected them to do that before, you might need to add that cueing in. You might need to tap their toes and say sock on, so that they know that we're expecting them to independently carry it out. So this is the child putting it on and then pulling it up. Okay, so just some extra kind of visuals. There are some socks that you can get that actually, so you can discriminate parts of where it should go on the foot. These are for the toes and for heels, but obviously any sock will be absolutely fine. It may be that before you trial this with your child or young person, that you play dressing up with a favourite toy or cuddly toy, or they actually help you put your socks on. They might find that a bit more motivating. So we've done the putting the sock on. So another example would be helping to put a coat on, and we quite naturally, and without any thought, unconsciously, we kind of create these little scenarios anyway, of ways in which we support children. So you might already be doing some of these things. So the adult would help by fastening the zip up. So the adult's doing that part of their task and zipping up to about 3/4 of the way. And then that's when we would expect the child or young person to do that final stage of the task, the pulling the zip up. So again, they might need hand over hand support for that. And you would use those key language, key phrases of pull zip or zip up, and they would do that last part. And again, once they're consistently doing that, you would extend those requests and encourage a little bit more participation from the child and young person. So the adult would assist with putting the zip to about halfway, and then the child completing that last part of the task. And I think something as a practitioner, and maybe as parents, quite easily when we see a child kind of looking like they're stuck or that they need support, we step in quite soon, because we don't want them to get frustrated. We're quite preventative, and before that happens, we step in to offer that support. However, sometimes it's not always that the child is actually stuck and that they're struggling, and it's just that they're processing to have to think and plan what they need to do next. So sometimes just stepping back can be really supportive, but letting the child know that you are there to help if they need. And obviously, if they are communicating non-verbally or verbally that they do need support, then of course that you'd provide that. Okay, I hope you found this video useful, and myself and the team are looking at ways that we can support families and settings with supporting children and young people at this time, but also going forward, looking at more kind of ways that are visual and that are interactive, where we can share and kind of model some strategies. Okay, thank you.